Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars and welcome to another classic film review. Today my classic film review is the 1992 comedy horror, which I suppose you could class it as a horror, is Death Becomes Her, a film that is directed by Robert Zemeckis and it stars Meryl Streep, Bruce Willis, Goldie Hawn with an appearance by Isabella Rossellini. Now this is a film that I went to see at the cinema when it first came out, and I kind of remember at the time when it was released it didn't garner a huge reception. I don't remember it being particularly critically well received. However, it's one of those films that has aged really well and has garnered a following as the years have gone on, and it is regarded somewhat of a classic these days. And if you have never seen Death Becomes Her, what is this film about? Well, this film focuses on Meryl Streep's character, Madeline Ashton, and Goldie Hawn's character, Helen Sharp, who are rivals. They've been rivals since they were kids. And at the beginning of the film, Goldie Hawn's character, Helen, is engaged to Bruce Willis's character, Ernest Menville, who is a very talented plastic surgeon. And he is obsessed with Meryl Streep's character, Madeline Ashton, who is a famous Hollywood actress. And they go and watch one of her shows, stage shows. Afterwards, they meet up, and Meryl Streep decides she's going to steal Ernest away from Helen, Goldie Hawn's character, for herself, mainly because he's a plastic surgeon, and she thinks he will be helpful to her as she grows ungracefully old, if you like. So that takes place, and then the film then shows Goldie Hawn's character, who has a bit of a mental breakdown and would love nothing more than to see Madeline Ashton's dead, basically. And then the film jumps forward a couple of decades, and they have all got old. Bruce Willis, Meryl Streep have been married for a lot of years. They don't get on anymore. They live separate lives, basically in the same house. Bruce Willis is an alcoholic, and they can't stand each other anymore. He's thrown his talent away now. All he does is put makeup onto corpses in morgues. He can no longer practice plastic surgery like he used to. And then they are invited to an event run by Goldie Hawn, Helen Sharp, where she has, become this famous novelist on how to look young and all this kind of stuff. And Meryl Streep goes because she still thinks she's, a nobody. And when they get there, they see Goldie Hawn, and she looks absolutely stunning. She looks 25 years younger. She looks stunning, slim, beautiful, and Meryl Streep is absolutely distraught by the thought of this and the sight of this, and demands to leave immediately. And then the aging process for Meryl Streep, she can't handle it. She goes to this clinic, and she is given the contact details of Isabella Rossellini's character, who offers an immortality treatment that Meryl Streep gleefully accepts, and it leads to all sorts of fun and escapades between her and Goldie Hawn throughout the rest of the film. They are essentially immortal, but they don't take particularly good care of their bodies, and they both end up desperately needing Bruce Willis's character Ernest to keep topping them up in regards to using his skills. Right. So that's the storyline here of Death Becomes Her. Now at the time I believe it won an Oscar for its special effects. I'll just double check that. I'm sure it did. Yeah, best visual effects at the 1993 Oscars. And when you watch this film, you can completely understand why. There's some really impressive visuals going on in this film, and it's wonderfully made in a sense of you've got these three actors here. Meryl Streep, who apparently wasn't keen on the filming process of this film. She wasn't used to visual effects films, and she thought it was a bit painful to make and claimed she would never do another one. But she's outstanding in this film, Meryl Streep. She really throws herself into this role, and she's superb as Madeline Ashton. This really vain woman. Goldie Hawn is equally as good, and to watch these two on screen together is an absolute joy. But the real treat of this film is Bruce Willis as Ernest Menville. He's his comedy, his charming comedic performance in this film is a joy to behold, and it's so lovely to watch Bruce Willis earlier on in his career doing movies like this and films that he was passionate about. He throws himself into this part really, really well. It's comedic, it's pantomime, but it's so much fun watching him and all these characters on screen interact with each other. It's a joy to behold. It's worth watching it just for that. But the actual story here about immortality, and the horrific elements that go along with that. I mean, there's some great scenes in this film of Meryl Streep having using the visual effects of Meryl Streep with her head dangling about and holes in stomachs, and it's a really well made fun film, that probably not enough people have seen this film. So I do suggest, if you have never seen Death Becomes Her, get yourself out there and what this film watched. It's an 8 out of 10 for me. It's aged wonderfully well. I've just watched it recently to prepare for this classic film review, and it really has aged really nicely, and I thoroughly enjoyed all the performances, especially Bruce Willis's. So that's my review for Death Becomes Her. Thank you very much for watching, and of course I will see you next time on Screen Starts.